Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the, July 13th meeting for the Glendale Elementary School District Governing Board. Ms. Tagata-Jones, are there any changes to the agenda this afternoon?
Good afternoon, President Martinez, members of the board. No, there are not.
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Please let the minutes show that we have myself and Ms. Bartels present in person. Ms. Wilson is currently on the phone listening to us, so thank you for joining us on the phone. Moving on, are there any... No, I'm sorry. It seems like it's been forever since I'm doing this. I'm just totally spacing out right now. Please join me in a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. At this point, looking for a motion to recess for public hearing.
I'll make a motion to recess for the purpose of the expenditure budget truth and taxation notice.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. At 4 p.m., the meeting will recess for the purpose of holding a public meeting on the proposed expenditure budget and truth and taxation for the 2023-2024 school year in accordance with ARS 15-905.01. Members of the public are invited to make comments and ask questions during the public hearing. Number one, presentation regarding proposed budget, questions and comments from board members, questions and comments from the public, and then adjourn the public meeting and reconvene our regular meeting. Ms. Tagata-Jones?
Yes, President Martinez, members of the board. At this time, I'll turn over to Mr. Mike Berrigan.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Tagata-Jones. It's good to see you guys again. It seems like it has been a very long time. I'm not even sure if I know how to present this anymore. It feels so long. I do appreciate at the last meeting, Ms. Caravelle did present that proposed budget to you. Nothing has changed from that, but I am going to, for the purpose of the public meeting, go through that. As always, we want to show you the comparison between the prior year information to where we are today. And you can see while there was an increase to the base support amount, with the decline in enrollment, there wasn't very much change to the GBL. You can see 68.2 for the adopted and then 70.4 for the revision, and then about 70.5 million dollars was the where we landed on, and you can only see that's about a $50,000 difference from last year, and a big reason is because of the decline or projected decline in enrollment. What we always want to do is kind of just show you that enrollment projection or the ADM projection, not only since 2014, but really in those subsequent years. The darker columns will have like the pre-pandemic. So if you take the 10,002 is what we had projected for last year. For this year, pre-pandemic, we thought the ADM would be 9,782, and you can see that the budget's built on that 8,323. And again, just when we were talking about school closures and the impact of the pandemic, a lot of folks were saying, it's the pandemic, you're going to get those kids back. From our perspective, it actually accelerated that decline. And this is the capital budget, 11.3 in the adopted of last year, 13 million, and then about 13.3 million. You can see on that bottom row, the one-time state aid, about $2.4 million. Public education received about $300 million as a one-time allocation, and we just felt that with a projected decline, we have an election that's going to be important to the district. To be more conservative and just kind of tuck that away should enrollment decrease further than what we had projected, just kind of a little safety net there. Part of this requirement is also to do the truth in taxation notice. I think I've shared with you in the past that I believe that this is a statutory requirement that I do believe is misleading. When you compare one year to the next, it goes from 47.52 cents to 43.99 cents. But the way that the statute requires it to be written and to be posted, it implies that there is a significant increase. And as I often find myself telling some of my colleagues, we're reporting, you decide what that really looks like. But we thought we wanted to provide you that factual information and then have you decide whether that's an increase or not. We see it as a decrease. This is just the tax rate by category, if you will. There will be a difference of about 39 cents from one year to the next. And that's specific to, if I remember correctly, I believe that is the Class B bonds. Almost $4.8 million in the DAA allocation. The DAA was fully restored in the 22 school year, and there was a significant increase of about 9.4%. You're starting to see some of that inflation allocated to the DAA, which had never existed until more recently. And as we always like to point out, when you look at the reductions, almost $39 million in what would have been capital funding alone. Every year, we're going to be challenged with the increase to minimum wage. That decrease in enrollment will be an ongoing challenge for the district. We will appear to be inefficient because of that decline in enrollment. We project at this point that the increase to minimum wage will be about $146,000. Inflation challenges. The increased competition, decrease in enrollment will be less revenue. This is something that's very familiar with you or to you, but it's important that the public in our community understand some of those challenges. The M&O override, if it's not extended, you'll see a $3 million cut next year, and then that following year about $6 million if it's not renewed. Bonds, capital lawsuit are all going to be critical to the district. And then ESSER 3, without ESSER 3, the district could not maintain its solvency, in addition to some of the decisions that this board has made. We just feel that it's important to highlight those and to continue to talk about those because the district would have been in a different position had those federal dollars not been available. Mr. President, members of the board, that concludes the presentation. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions from the board?
It's just painful when you see how significant the decline impacts our operation, especially when we have to operate based on current year funding.
All right. Are there any questions from the public? All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn public hearing and reconvene regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene to the regular meeting.
I'll second.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Moving on in our agenda, the call to the public. Are there any calls to the public this evening?
No, Mr. President, there are not.
Okay. Moving right on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you very much. Moving on to reports and information item, probably what we're all here for, the 2023 state assessment data. Ms. Segato-Jones.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, this time Ms. Norma Hottigue will present that information.
Good evening, Board President Martinez, board members, and Superintendent Segato-Jones. Yes, we are here to present the 2023 AASA data and some end-of-the-year data that we have as well. All right, so we're going to start off by just explaining that, yes, they're the 8th grade takes this test. We included iReady in here, K2 rolling assessments, and this is our first year that we're receiving the Arizona Science Assessment data for 5th through 8th grade. This is a little bit of the timeline. Letter grades will be coming around the end of October or November 1st. So, So that's when we'll be expecting to get our letter grade assignments. Here you can see in the subsequent slides the data over 3 years for third grade, ELA on the left, math on the right. That's how all the slides will be. And you can see, you know, we were very concerned throughout the year when we saw our Galileo benchmark assessment results because it seemed like it was not getting necessarily better. And so we've been looking at that assessment tool and figuring it out. But you'll see here that there were some increases, and so it didn't always match. So that's just something that you should know. So we're going to start with third grade here. Here is our fourth grade data. Fifth grade. Sixth grade. Seventh grade. And eighth grade. We saw some increases in math, but we know that math is an area to focus on for sure. So we are making some strategies for that. In the next slides, you'll see our schools. We also put on here where Arizona scored and where the district scored the average. So you'll see our schools. Large range, but some of our schools had some increases there. Here's that was ELA, this is third grade math. We have fourth grade ELA, fourth grade math, fifth grade ELA, fifth grade math, sixth grade ELA, sixth grade math, here's our seventh grade ELA, our seventh grade math, big need, eighth grade ELA, eighth grade math. Next, you will find our diverse population data, and what you'll see is something unique here on this slide is in the past we've struggled to see some gains with our special education students, but I know our schools are working really hard as a whole school on working on our subgroups, our diverse population students, and our special education department is working in that area as well. We've made some adjustments in those areas, and you'll see some gains there. In ELA, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade had some gains, some more students moving over to the proficient and highly proficient, and in math, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th grade. Here is our English language learners, a big area that we're always working on. We have people at Kagan this week, which we know will be an additional strategy that will help our English language learners and all of our students. In English language arts, we did see some increases in 4th, 5th, and 8th. In math, we saw increases in 3rd, 4th, and 8th. Here are our gifted students. This is all of our gifted students. This one's always kind of funny because it might be like 100 and 100. And then here is our gifted by category. So our nonverbal, our quantitative and verbal gifted students, and kind of where they fell. And we do include all of our gifted students on this data. Here is our math. On the left is a number, and on the right is the percent. On to iReady. So iReady, here is the data for that. In kindergarten, we can have 1 year below or on or above grade level, so that's why there's only 2 colors there. You'll see the increase from the beginning of the year to the end of the year this year. So we're happy to see those gains. Here is our first grade iReady. This assesses, of course, reading, all the different areas in reading, and you'll see this year's data. Here is second grade. Here is third grade. Here is fourth grade. Fifth grade. Sixth grade. Seventh grade. And our eighth grade. What we are very excited about, and I'm sure you saw this in the data, and we did a little bit something different with the reports here, is you'll see the little yellow bar. And what you'll see overall in all of our rolling assessments is a decrease in minimally proficient over the years and an increase in proficient. Here we don't really indicate the highly proficient. They either have the skill or they don't. So we're very excited, and we're hoping it would be a little higher, but we have an 89% in the letter names and an 87% in letter sounds. You'll see how that changed over the last 3 years at the end of the year. And then you'll see the rest of the ELA data there. We're still working on sight words. That's the one we always are talking about. And you'll see a similar pattern in all of the other data points for rolling assessments. Here's our first grade ELA and our first grade math. Here is some more math. Here is second grade reading. Sight words is a little higher in second grade, so that's good. All right, we have second grade reading and second grade math. And we, of course, want to share with you our science data. So this was where our fifth grade students fell and our eighth grade students fell. A lot of our teachers would say it is a very reading-based assessment. They have to do a lot of reading and look at charts and everything. So this is something that, you know, as a district, we will definitely need to look at closer. We've been looking at it, but we need to take a deeper dive. And here's our AZ science data for fifth grade overall for all of our schools. And our eighth grade. We know there's work to be done, and like Cindy always says, we want to stay the course and continue with the work that we're doing because we know that it helps our students and our teachers. So we're going to continue with principal coaching. We're going to continue with quarterly reviews to look at data and looking at artifacts. Some of these things are things we've continued to do to help support. Something a little bit different is we are doing a little bit more focus on math, professional development. Of course, we sent people to the Kagan conference this summer. We're hoping that kind of spreads across the schools to help all of our students, but especially our English language learners and our diverse populations. So there's lots of strategies that we're continuing. We don't want to shift gears 100%, but we definitely want to have a focus on proficiency because that's the only way we're going to get our kids where they need to be. So at this time, if you guys have any questions.
Observation when seeing the
Yes.
changes in growth for our kindergartners. Because if you set a really, really solid foundation, you've got a good structure to build from. And I'm excited to see the changes that we're going to see trickle up on those kids as they age through.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're seeing that now in third grade. So our vitamin approach process is helping.
Well, it is nice to see a lot of positive improvement in almost all of these metrics. And year over year, we're getting better at what we do, which is great to see. And you know, looking at some of the charts where we kind of gauged ourselves against statewide data, it was a little tough to look at. But you look at the other metrics, and you know is that we are getting better at what we're doing, and being able to get to that point where all of our students can compete at a level that we think they can do. It's going to be in our future. So, thank you and the rest of the team for helping to build those students for us and be able to make those improvements that we see after year. Are there any other questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our first action item, the 2023-2024 expenditure budget. Ms. Segata-Jones?
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, it's recommended the governing board adopt the 2023-2024 expenditure budget as presented.
Are there any questions regarding the expenditure budget after the public hearing we had where we went through the expenditure budget? All right, with that, is there a motion to adopt the 2023-2024 expenditure budget?
I'll make a motion to adopt the 2023-2024 expenditure budget as presented.
I'll second.
All right, Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Moving on to our second action item, the employment of coordinator for curriculum and instruction. Ms. Segata-Jones?
Yes, President Martinez, members of the board, it's recommended the governing board approve the employment of Ms. Sandra Quintana as a coordinator for curriculum instruction, salary and benefits commensurate with the coordinating schedule as presented.
Are there any questions regarding the employment of coordinator?
All right, wait. And it's Miss Sandra Quintana?
Yes.
Right, okay. Is she here?
Yes, she is.
There she is.
It's the reason why there are kids in the room today. You can't imagine a more exciting way to spend your Thursday afternoon. All right, if there's no questions, is there a motion to go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the employment of Miss Sandra Quintana as the coordinator for curriculum and instruction.
And I'll second.
All right, Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Congratulations. This is the point where you have to stand up and you do a victory lap around the boardroom. All right, thank you. Congratulations, welcome to the team. Moving on to future meetings and events, Ms. Segata-Jones.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, you can see what's ahead of you. We have the next meeting, July 27th, agreement to provide meals that will be coming from Mr. Berrigan and Ms. Shannon Gleave. And then it's hard to believe, but in August 10th, we'll report on the opening of school. So with that, that's all that's in the future of meetings right now.
I feel like we were cheated out of a summer break.
It feels
Feel
like
the
it.
same.
All right, are there any questions or comments regarding our future meetings?
Is it the August 10th one that goes back to 5:30?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Boo. Okay, sorry.
I better just throw that out there. Somebody might show up at 4.
All right, well, moving on to the summary of current events. Ms. Segata-Jones, what has been going on?
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, last Saturday we participated as Glendale Elementary School District with the historic merchants downtown Glendale. And they have their annual Christmas in July, so we were there on the corner. And we had snow for the kids, and we actually were able to recruit some people and hire someone from that event as well. But it was a nice day to support our local businesses as they support us. Really, they do that event every year, and they collect school supplies. And so those school supplies will be distributed among schools for kids to take home, for supplies for them to have at home. So that happened, and we're excited about that. As Ms. Heidegger said, we have several staff members attending Kagan this week in Orlando, and also we have several staff members attending in St. Louis Level Up on professional learning communities as well. So we're excited that we were able to provide that opportunity for teachers and administrators to attend, and directors and coordinators. Also, I'd like to announce that it is our pleasure to inform you that Glendale Elementary School District has been selected by the American Association of School Personnel Administrators Committee and the ASPA Executive Board to receive the ASPA Human Resources Digital Branding Development Award. The Human Resources Digital Branding Development Award is given to the school district whose personnel or human resources department has the most effectively managed who has most effectively managed to leverage the power of at least one digital venue to tell their district's employment story and provide communications to and gather information from current and prospective employees. They will be honored in Anaheim on Wednesday, October 4th. Ms. Valadez and your team, we thank you so much, along with Ms. Adriana Alvarado Parsons, who has done a remarkable job with us with branding. So congratulations to everybody. We appreciate that. And in addition to that, I'd like to also recognize the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting is presented to Glendale Elementary School District for its annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2022. The district report meets the criteria established for ASBO's International Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting. Mr. Berrigan and your team, we thank you for the work that you do. And then with that also, thank you for all of our staff that are here today. We're happy that you're here. I know I told you to take time off, enjoy some time, and relax. I know you're busy hiring and getting ready for the new year, so I appreciate the work that you do. And again, welcome Sandra to GSD. With that, it concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Ms. Bartels, do you have anything new to share?
If you haven't noticed, it's hot outside. The oven door is open. But I have been watching the different campus social media pages, and the learning that is going on is evident by the posts that they are sharing. They are getting ready for their kids that will be returning in just a couple more weeks. It just seems so scary to say that out loud. But I'm looking forward to meeting all of our new teachers that will be coming through in just a couple more weeks. I'm sure we'll all be melting out there as we cheer them on. But and then I believe we have a hiring fair coming up here at the district, and I'm excited to find out how many people came by to join our team. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Wilson, do you have anything to update us with?
No updates, but just a congratulations and welcome to Ms. Quintana, and look forward to meeting you. Also, a big shout out to all those working really hard to get our schools ready for the first day. I'm sure that you're working hard. There's a lot to do in such little time. And also, Mr. Berrigan and Ms. Valadez and your teams for the awards. And just hope that everyone's trying to stay cool the best you can, and look forward to seeing everybody next time. That's it.
All right, great. Thank you. As for myself, all I can say is keep cool, everybody. Thank you, Ms. Heidegge, for presenting the assessment data. It's always good to get some context along with the slides that we get, and kind of walk through and explain all that. Congratulations to our HR benefits team again. It seems like they're going to have to start inventing new awards so we can win them, because I'm pretty sure we've won them all by now. Congratulations, Mr. Berrigan and the finance team, for yet another budget finance award from ASBO. It's almost becoming repetitive at this point. I'm sure the wall inside your office is just plastered with certificates that we get like this. Okay. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy these last few weeks of summer vacation. Enjoy it while you can. Get out of the house into some other place that's air-conditioned, and be careful out there. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Wait, we need a second.
Oh, yes.
No, I'll second.
Ms. Wilson, are you in favor of adjourning?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
And I am as well.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.